Hello, everyone. Joseph ICEMEN here. Welcome to the podcast Society and Stuff with Joseph ICEMEN and to this episode. I hear you listeners out there about which topic that should be brought up, and the topic that got the most votes is drumroll music and entertainment business. So, on today's episode, we will be discussing about the business and its ups and downs. What are the perks of being in the business and what are the disadvantages? Maybe we will be talking a little bit more about the disadvantages. That is why we have a guest, a friend of mine. He has been on the Swedish Melodifestivalen back in 2012. Feels like a throwback, I know. Together with the boy band Youngblood, where they performed with their song, also titled Youngblood. He is the Swedish pop country guy from Gothenburg and has released 5 hit songs. One of them titled Stars, released this year. I say welcome to Jimmy Marcus. Hello, Jimmy Marcus. How are you?
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm good. I'm good.
So, how does it feel being here?
It's amazing. I think this is like my fourth podcast, so it's always exciting to be talking.
So, you're not new to this then?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. As you've heard, today's topic is about the music and entertainment business. And I thought that maybe you can enlighten us about the business and the side that we are not seeing, because it is not only all about the glamour and the fancy lifestyle that is shown to us ordinary ones. So, how did you feel? Did some situations occur that made you feel to question the whole thing?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's very important, from my point of view at least, to think of like it's everything is like about the business and about money. So the hardest part for you as an artist is like that they can get rid of you anytime, like if you're signed to a major label or whatever, if you
Mhm.
don't really live up to their standards and earn them the money they expect you to earn from the income from streams and etc.
I understand. As I said, there is a side that we are not seeing, and I myself, as an artist, know that it can feel a bit lonely when being in the business, because it feels that you are trying to get your voice heard and trying to get through somehow. How was it for you? Because you have worked with professionals and with labels and other companies, so you have more experience about this, and I think that I speak for all of the listeners out there when asking you if you can tell us a bit more, about how it felt for you. How did it all start for you?
Yeah, yeah. How did it all start? Well, like for me, getting into the whole business thing was like, yeah, I've been doing a lot of like contests and stuff previously, which
Mm,
led me up to getting like a major label deal, like you mentioned about Youngblood and the whole thing
mm,
there. Um, which yeah, it was pretty interesting because I mean everything went pretty fast when everything came together. Like literally when I got the call that the group was formed and everything, we just went out to Stockholm for a huge recording session with the first single and everything. So it moved on pretty fast from there, and you didn't really knew what to expect really. Until like they handed over like the contracts and everything and you signed the deal, so to speak.
yeah, yeah. So everything that you experienced, it was like in a moment thing.
Yeah, you could say that it was.
Yeah,
Yeah, everything went pretty fast, like in an instant when everything came together. So yeah.
yeah, yeah. Did you from time to time feel that you were left out somehow, or that the professionals were looking for something else or someone else, because it can be lonely in the business, as I spoke of earlier. So did you feel that you got mixed signals somehow when working with these big people in the industry?
Nah, not at that point. I think it was pretty. I think everything was pretty clear, and we were on pretty good terms, and so on. What I could feel sometimes was that since they literally put me on most of the lead vocals on most songs, I felt like I didn't really have much of a choice there, because we were like five guys who wanted like our piece of the cake, like during the songs, because there were a lot of pretty good songs, but I couldn't really help it because they really wanted me to do certain stuff. So I felt like I was in a position that it wasn't too comfortable at times. I don't really mind doing lead vocals and stuff, but it's always nice to like find a good level to lift everybody up a bit. But other than that, I don't really think there was like many times where I felt left out. What I can remember.
No, because the reason why I'm asking this is because videos and audio files and interviews are circulating in the internet where other artists and even actors are stating that they somehow got left out or mistreated by the business. So that's the reason why I'm asking these questions. And I know that we have listeners who they probably watch these videos daily, and they are probably interested in knowing more and more facts,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. When your group started, you said that you were in a lot of contests before.
Yeah.
Were you in contests with the group, or did you start off solo?
I started off solo before the group
Okay.
was brought together. And that was how they was able to find me when they started the whole group, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. I understand. I understand. And did you meet before the Melodifestivalen, or did you meet at Melodifestivalen? How was it? How did it all start?
Yeah, yeah. When they had like when all the auditions was done and they had like a group, they had like they just brought us up for a weekend where we just met and just got together to get to know each other a little bit better, and then the work started like pretty fast, as I mentioned. So we just like got in the studio, recorded our first single, took some promotion pictures, and also filmed the promotion video and everything. And of course, we also recorded the song for Melodifestivalen as well. So we really had a time where we just got together and just worked from there.
Mm-hmm. As I understand now, you are a solo artist. There is no Youngblood anymore.
That's correct.
Yeah. So you're an independent solo artist, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So how does it feel going solo? Is it a lot harder, or do you feel that you are in a kind of way far from the industry, or how does it feel when going solo? Because if you are in a group, I'm thinking maybe it's a bit easier because maybe a member of the group has some contacts here and there. So how is it for you now?
Yeah, I think from my perspective, feel like I'm more in control of what I'm doing and the decisions that I make. Because back then, you really were pretty much instructed what to do, and you had like everything sorted out for you. And you had like, yeah, you're doing these songs with the group, and you're doing this, and you gotta dress like that, and so on. Which now I can decide everything for myself. The hardest part is probably like the financial thing in that perspective, because everything that I'm releasing and stuff like that is all from my own pocket. And like booking gigs, I do have an agency who helps me out with the bookings at sometimes, but I also book gigs myself, which can be pretty hard when you gonna negotiate like how much money and stuff and all of that and all the practical things like traveling and so on. So it's a little bit harder with all those things.
You have an agency, so people can hire you through that agency?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, okay. Do you have a manager or or that it's only the agency?
Yeah, it's only the agency, and they right now they're just doing the bookings, but they do have management as well. But I'm only on their booking.
Oh,
Yeah.
I understand. I understand. Booking gigs. I know that for a lot of musicians, it is very hard to, be out there and to get those gigs. And I speak from own experiences. So, how does it feel for you? Do you feel like you are getting out there, sort of speaking? So, how does it feel?
Yeah, it can be a bit difficult at times. I feel like it's growing more, and it's getting. I think I'm getting a little bit a hand of it, but it's difficult when you do music that don't really have a lot of festivals and forums for you to perform at, and so it's a little bit harder to get like certain gigs and stuff like that. But the more it's growing, I feel it's the easier it's getting. But it is tough, like when you negotiate and when you really try to find. And sometimes you are getting like rated off. Like there was this festival a couple of years ago. When I first started, which I understand because I hadn't really made a name for myself yet, but they told me to come back because they were already fully booked, and I did, and I never heard from them ever again. So I don't really know if they if they want me or not anymore. So it can be difficult at times.
Yeah, yeah, that is quite difficult when you don't get any response. You wonder. It makes you wonder, though.
Yeah, sure does.
Yeah. So, do you travel a lot, or how is it now with the traveling part?
Yeah, sometimes I do. Since I do get gigs a little bit further away from Gothenburg, where I usually play from time to time.
Mm.
But so yeah, I do, and usually I try to get that in the negotiation when it comes to payment, like so I at least get the traveling costs paid at least.
Now that you mention negotiations, I think that many of the listeners out there are interested in knowing about negotiations. Do you have like some kind of tip or how to think when to negotiate? Is there something you should think about when being in a negotiation and when signing a deal? Because I guess that you have signed a lot of deals.
Yeah, are we talking about like contracts with labels or?
Exactly,
Yeah, okay.
exactly. Contracts with labels, not only labels, also other huge companies. And let's stick to the label part. If we stick to the label part now, when signing to a label, how did it feel for you? How does it feel in general when signing to a label?
Yeah, my first signing with the label was back with the Youngblood, and that was with the major. So I didn't really hesitate much with that, and I think they have like these standard deals that they have like a year. I think they start with a year or something, and it can be longer if they choose to extend the contract if they like. So I didn't really hesitate then, and everything was on pretty good terms and pretty clear. But there have also been situations where I signed to a label where the terms and conditions wasn't all that good in general, because you really need to know what they are expecting from you, but also what you expect of them to deliver
Exactly.
in form of like yeah, are they getting the music out there for you? Are they booking the gigs for you? Are they making sure you're getting paid for the work you're doing and such things? And there was this situation where I signed a deal with a smaller label, which unfortunately didn't deliver what any of us at the time expected them to do. So it can be very tricky. So you really need to check the contracts properly. So make sure you have a lawyer or someone who can take a look at it, who knows if this is good or not, because it can be very tricky at times.
Exactly. And that is the main part that I want to focus a bit on today's topic, the terms and conditions, because unfortunately in the industry, I think, well, not only me, but everyone knows that they play with you, they take advantage of you. Did you have any situation that you felt like that at all?
Yeah, absolutely. Like that time when I signed with the smaller one, because they literally could tell us to be up. And there was more people involved, by the way. But yeah, they could just tell us, like, they had this thing in the contract, like when they say you have to be up for recordings or whatever, you have to be there. Other ones, you go against the contract and can be charged for that. So that was one thing, and I felt like, yeah, they can literally just do whatever they want with us without us having the possibility to say anything about it. There was a time when we tried to negotiate, but instead they chose to ignore us and then just extended the contract instead of listening to what we had to say at the time. So yeah, it's tougher at times, and that was one of those situations where I felt like they really took advantage of the power they had over us and within the contract, so to speak.
That's actually quite sad, I think, because I mean we are all. I think that in a perfect world, it shouldn't be like that at all, because we are all equal, and I think that we all want the best for each other. We all want somehow to lift each other up. But yeah, I think it depends on who you meet along the way. Right?
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
Yeah. The fan part, like the journey of having a fan base. Do you feel that it is hard to get fans or to get anyone to collaborate with, getting in touch with someone in the industry or maybe outside the industry? I don't know. How does it feel to having your songs heard and having your own fan base? Like, is it hard? Is it tough? How does it feel?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think it's hard from time to time. I do know that my music are getting out there to people and stuff like that, but I think it's really hard to like find a fan base in general. I do have a couple of people that I know following me on a regular basis and check out my stuff, but I'm not really sure like I have a huge fan base like who follows me around and stuff like that. So yeah, it's very tricky. Yeah. Well, that's true. But yeah, it's tricky at some times. Like I don't really recognize it that much as I might have done before, but hopefully the more you're getting out there, the more people you get to know and meet. So I mean, I do open stages and stuff like that just to get like in promotional purposes, just to get people to have a look at my music and to get to know more people. So that's one thing I've been striving towards to do, to get to know more people. And yeah.
So we can all come to the same conclusion that it is hard.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it is hard. Do you feel that you are being connected with the right people? Maybe it is an upcoming question. I don't know. Have we talked about it?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Entirely.
Do you feel like you are getting connected with the right people in the business, in the industry in general?
Yeah, I do actually. I mean, ever since I like first and foremost when I signed with the agency, they started up as like they started up with a festival that I did my first like official gig as a country artist at, and I guess they saw something in me that they thought, yeah, this is probably something that can really go pretty far in a long term. So when they then wanted to sign me, I was very happy and humble about that, for example, and also been leading me to discover more Swedish country artists who I've been talking a little bit with, and also I also had a gig together with one another Swedish country artist who name is Sandra North, which was very fun, and I keep like getting like more and more contacts within like the country music industry as well. So I think it's really starting to grow for me and moving forward in that aspect.
That's great. There are a lot of upcoming artists nowadays, and I mean, you can't keep any count at how many upcoming artists there are nowadays. Do you feel like from time to time that you lose at keeping the count because of these many upcoming artists? And I mean, there is a huge competition in the industry, and do you feel like with different of generations of artists of any genre, any music ability, that you feel like you are being competition somehow, or that you are being, you feel like, well, this is it for me somehow? Do you know what I'm getting at?
I think so. Do you mean like if I feel like I compete against others musically, or?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Well, sometimes yes and sometimes no. It depends how you look at it, because since I'm in a totally different genre than than many of my other friends that does music, many of my friends are doing either Swedish pop or hip hop or stuff like that. So I sometimes used to say like, well, we don't really play in the same league. I don't know if anyone agrees about that, but music is music. But still, I feel. But then again, there is a lot of competition in my area as well. So I should probably not speak that soon. But yeah, sometimes I do, because you really need to be heard in between of all of these artists. Like. Make someone like discover your music. So hopefully, like all with all the algorithms and things on Spotify, I think that's like the major thing that you're pretty much competing against, like when it comes to music. So yeah, sometimes yes and sometimes no. It depends how you look at it. But yeah, there is a major competition between everyone, because everybody wants to get heard, so to speak.
Yeah. And sometimes do you feel like when trying to congratulate someone on winning something, or supporting them, that you just feel like they are ignoring you, that they are doing their own thing, and they are in their lane without caring about anyone else but themselves? Like, have you ever met people like that?
Yeah, I have, and that's quite sad, because well, I'm not a perfect individual as well, and sometimes I do miss out on certain people to help them out and promote them in the way that I possibly can.
Yeah.
But then again, yeah, I have met people who are pretty big, but don't really lift someone else who's a little bit smaller up there, and that's sad in a way. But I also noticed, like within my music genre, that I've seen bigger stars who actually are lots of fan favorites of mine, actually, who have been commenting my stuff when I do a cover or whatever, or my own songs as well, and that's fantastic. I really hope for a world where everybody gets treated that way, because it makes you feel like you're really doing something good, and it gives you like that extra little thing to that want you to continue with what you're doing. And so it does a lot for other people, and that's why I feel it's important to support smaller acts or other acts in general as well. So if you have the opportunity to go and see another artist and go and check him or her gig out, just do it and share the music. I mean, it doesn't take much to just bring that forward. So yeah, it's sad that it happens, but hopefully more and more people realize this and starting to help others out.
Maybe I'm speculating now, but do you think that it can be like a title thing that, that these people, they know that they have a title now in the industry and they are like, oh, I'm big, and they don't deal with well, how can I put this nicely, small people?
Yeah, that could be the case. I'm not really sure actually, but yeah, it could be. That could be the case. I mean, some people just probably think that they are too big for for doing that thing. I don't really know actually. It's
Oh,
a tough question, but maybe that could be the case actually. I don't know.
yeah. Well, I guess that there are many, many who wants to, be out there, but unfortunately, some of them are doing it in a wrong way, I guess.
Mm.
At the end of it all, how does it feel for you when you get to work with what you are passionate about? Because I am guessing that you have a passion for music.
Yeah, of course. I just feel it feels amazing to be able to do what I'm doing and to finally like find a music genre what I feel comfortable in doing now, because I've been listening to it for a couple of years even before I started, and was very insecure about if I even dare start something off with that and so on. So I've been pending for a very long time with that. So I just feel so amazed and also to get so much kind words from people around the world, especially within the country music genre, who really likes what I'm doing and think it sounds very good. So yeah, I'm very humble about that actually. So yeah, it's nice, and yeah, so amazing.
That's good. That's nice. That's nice, actually. And it's nice also having fans and having people around you that can support you and that does support you.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's good. Well, we need to wrap it up. And I thank you, Jimmy Marcus, for being here with us today and for taking the time to be here today. So thank you a lot.
yeah. Thank you for having me.
It was very nice interviewing you. And we will probably catch up if it's on social media or any other social gathering. So thank you for being here and take care and have a good day.
Yeah, you too, man. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Jimmy Marcus, everyone. Thank you for listening to the podcast Society and Stuff with JOSEF ICEMEN. I will be making a new poll where you listeners can vote for which topic that should be brought up next week. I think that I will be making the voting for this poll a bit longer so that you can, on your own sweet time, vote for the topic you think is the most important one. I will also ask you a question on Spotify so that if there is any topic that you don't find on the poll, you can just answer the question by writing which topic you want me to discuss. And then I will make a voting for that topic. But at the meantime, keep yourself updated, stay tuned, and thank you for listening again. Take care. Bye.